What's up, CW fans? Hey, I had a bunch of people reach out to me. I think I even had a couple of comments on one of my videos in regards to the CQ Worldwide CW contest. And one of you had asked me, what speed is somebody like N6MJ or Chris running at, KL9A running at when they're doing the contest? And I thought it might be kind of cool to spotlight. Kevin Thomas has Q5, which is a channel here on YouTube that really spotlights some of the efforts of some of the biggest of the big time DXers and contesters that are out there that are running stations and doing like some really cool stuff. And I thought it might be kind of cool to run a couple of seconds of N6MJ here running. So what a lot of contesters will do is right before the contest, maybe the day before, maybe 2 days, sometimes 2 days before, what they'll do is they'll just run stations and just kind of start to get into the groove and, you know, get things worked out with the station and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool to watch. Actually, we don't get to see this a lot of times, so it's kind of cool that Kevin Thomas has the ability to get some of these kind of videos to spotlight what N6MJ is doing. So what he's doing is using his call sign. So he's EA8, so Canary Islands essentially, N6MJ, so EA8/N6MJ, and you're going to see that he's like really banging them out and going at a high rate of speed. So I was listening to what he has his speed set at, and I think it's right around 40 words a minute, maybe 41 words a minute. I think in the contest he might have even been to 42 words a minute. It's kind of hard to tell and hard to kind of reverse engineer that. But here I think he's at 40 words a minute, and he starts out at a CW frequency tone. If you know what that is, maybe I've got a couple of videos on what choosing your right tone is like. It seems like he starts out at 560 hertz or 550 hertz at first, and then you'll see if you watch this video, I think you should go ahead and check it out. It's kind of fun to like watch him rip through a bunch of contacts, and you'll see right around the 4-minute mark, or maybe a little bit later after that, he goes up to the ICOM. This is a 7610, and he changes the pitch up a little bit. I think he goes up to 600 hertz. So you'll see the pitch change after you watch the video a little bit. But let's check this out for a second. And what you'll notice is Dan always sends his call sign, and he even talks about it on some of Kevin Thomas's videos. When he's working a contest, he always sends his call sign after every exchange, which I think is really awesome. There are a lot of people that don't do that, and it's very aggravating, as you will see on one of my CQ Worldwide video. I think I wound up getting a little bit ticked off because I didn't know who the person was after like seven tries. Didn't even know who they were. But this is pretty cool. So another thing I wanted to make sure everybody understands too is this is the Super Bowl of CW contests. This is the World Series of CW contests. The biggest players are playing right here, right now. And what you see going on right here with Dan at the keyboard is like the best of the best doing stuff, right? So I don't want anyone to get discouraged, because I mean, this is high speed CW. This is very fast stuff. Stuff's coming at you really quick. It's not unattainable. It is not unattainable. You can do this. It takes time. It's not going to happen next week, right? So keep practicing. And I think it's either my #1 rule or my #2 rule, which is learn to copy your call sign at the highest rate of speed possible. That's going to allow you to be able to do contests like this, because the exchange is super easy. It's your call sign, and you have to send your CQ zone, which I'm in 4. Some people in the United States are in 5. Some people are in 3, right? So make sure you can copy your call sign you need to be able to, in a bunch of call signs, all of a sudden, if you hear your call sign, that's it, right? So that's either my number 1 or number 2 rule for CW. My other rule, which is either number 1 or number 2, be able to send your call sign as fast as humanly possible. 40 words a minute, not necessary. 30 words a minute, sure. Try to make that your goal. Maybe 32 words a minute, make that your goal. You can make a contact with N6MJ here, Dan, and you can all do it manually. You don't even have to use the keyboard or buttons or anything like that, right? And sometimes there's some ridicule, and I think there was even a comment on Kevin Thomas's video here, was like, shame on him for using a keyboard. This is a CW contest. It's not about CW skills alone, right? It's about everything. There's like so much that goes into a contest like this. It is CW skill. A wise man once told me, doing CW is copying CW. Everything else is whatever. So it's kind of a goofy anecdote, but copying CW is really the name of the game. And the other pieces of it is, this is a multi-band contest. You need to know when you should be moving to 10 meters, back down to 15, maybe 20. You need to scrap 20 and go down to 40. So you are operating over multi-days. You need to be able to structure your brakes properly. And you need to understand what propagation's like from the location that you're at, right? So there is a ton of stuff that goes into this. And simply the fact that somebody's using a keyboard for CW as like a thumbs down, that's nothing further from the truth. As a matter of fact, this is a game of points, multipliers, and endurance. So, and it just so happens to be a CW contest. So keep that in mind for all the folks that are kind of poo-pooing the use of the keyboard. There's no other really way to do it. You cannot win without a keyboard. It is not possible. So if you're I think you get carpal tunnel syndrome after the first 12 hours, probably, especially trying to send at this rate of speed, right? You're not going to be able to make the rate that you need, and rate is important, right? Getting the most contacts per hour, or sometimes per minute in these guys' case. So hope this is helpful. Go check out Q5. Kevin Thomas, he's got a lot of cool videos on really the creme de la creme of contesters, and the folks that really make contesting, the royalty of contesting. For us other folks that just like to play around and do contests and have fun, there's something for us, right? There's things like seeing if you can beat your score from last year, or trying to compete with some of the other folks that have limited antennas, like myself. I have a limited antenna. Sometimes I'll play around, with my long wire, and then sometimes I'll play around with remote ham radio. So shout out to Ray W2RE for having the RHR environment for folks that can't have antennas like myself. I'm property restricted. I can't do it. So sometimes what I'll do for fun and enjoy some of the pileup stuff that these guys get to enjoy is I'll get on like the last hour of a contest, for example, or the last 2 hours of a contest, jump into a remote ham radio where they have like the super duper stations, and I'll just run massive pileup for about 2 hours. I think I even have some videos on some of my remote ham radio extravaganzas and excursions. So anyways, check it out. He's running stations. See if you can copy some of what he's copying. He's just running, he's EA8/N6MJ, and then waiting for somebody to call him, and then he gives him a 599. Boom. And then some people, when they call him, they'll say, thank you, you're 599, or whatever, that kind of thing. So it's kind of a fun thing. I'm really glad he did this. This is kind of like one of those videos I like to spotlight for folks that are trying to learn to increase their speed and getting that master's degree in CW. So anyways, CWI, my friends.